2018, I started to have a lot of success in my business. Things were really, I was exiting the military, active duty, and I was starting to find a lot of success in my business. But, it was still, moderate income. I think between the military and business, I was just finally starting to hit six figures, but I wasn't at a place where I could just buy, a large house or something crazy. It was just, I would come here at least once every couple weeks and just run these trails because I love it out here. It's just, it's very open. There's hills, but what I really loved about it is it got me at a place where I could dream. So I would run through here, and as I would look up, I would see these houses. And I was like, man, I'm just blown away by big houses. It's just so cool to see the architecture that went into that. And I was like, man, just to live in something like that would be insane. But I wasn't at a place where I could even remotely afford a house like that. I remember walking through here one day, and I looked at this house right here. And when you get really physical in the body, when you're doing something really challenging, your confidence level goes up. And I remember running right through here, and I looked at that house right there, and I was like, in 5 years, I'm gonna live in that house. 5 years, give me 5 years. So time goes on, business is expanding, a lot happens in my life. Within, I would say 18 months, I bought that house right there. There was a little bit of doubt in me that thought, maybe I'll never live there, maybe I'll just always, but my ambition was always so high, and I just chased it, and it came way before. And that's really the story, is that when you really set your mind to something and you believe in it and you obsess over it, it can come so much faster than you thought, as long as you have no expectation. But it was just such a surreal moment. The day I bought my house, a couple days later I came out here, and I just looked at the perspective of now owning that house, and I was like, man, this is insane. God is so good. I used to get up at 3:30 in the morning, immediately start planning my day. It was just optimization of the machine. How do I get my mind to think the best? How do I be constantly focused on the future and my goals? How do I become obsessed to a point where I live and breathe it? Real life change comes from an obsession with the change. Like when I had started my business and it was growing exponentially by the month, I knew there was a lot of things in front of me. There was a lot of things like hiring employees, hiring the right employees, all the systems and processes. And so I became obsessed with finding all the answers before I arrived at the destination, or at least having like an 80% solution. So, and with that, the business would perform optimally. Back in 2016, I was going through a lot. I was going through a divorce. My dad was diagnosed with terminal cancer with just a few months to live. And I was in Air Force weapons school. Through that process, it was rigorous, working 16 to 18 hours a day. But I noticed going through shooting drills that I was forgetting the essentials. And what I learned is that, when we're not actually taking care of our mind and our body, not just working out, but like sleeping, I had to go to therapy just to learn how to remember again, because I couldn't remember what I ate for breakfast. I couldn't remember what I did the day before. When we start to neglect those key essential areas of our lives, it has serious consequences. And at the cost of what? Sure, my business was running well, things were growing, but there's an expiration date to that when you don't take care of the essentials. And that's where, these last couple years I've been really focused on. It's optimization, but it's really about taking care of myself for the longevity of my life. And sleep is paramount, man. If you're not sleeping 7 to 8, 9 hours a night, that will catch up to you at some point. My ego is always like, I'm good, man, I don't need that much sleep, I can operate just fine. But the truth is, after I did that for 7 or 8 years, it caught up to me. And with that came different types of mental disorders like depression and anxiety. And I started to lose control of everything that I thought I was gaining control of. My ego and pride probably just got the best of me. And I kind of started to neglect for the sake of trying to catch up to these people who are making 10, 12, $15 million a year. So I will say that the speed at which you move is important. And you can tell when someone moves at a different frequency and a different speed that they're after life versus they're just chill and laid back. I can tell by how someone walks, kind of what their confidence is like, if they've got a passion and a purpose. People with purpose move faster. If you go to an airport and just watch people walk around, or you go, just check it out on the street, just when you're out in the environment, and people that walk real slow with their shoulders kind of slumped, but people that have purpose move fast. They walk a little faster, shoulders are more upright, and you can just tell, man, you can tell exactly the internal feelings of that person and the motives and desires. If you go on a run or you come out and immerse yourself to 35-degree cold weather and move your body, you can overcome fear in seconds. Even if you just stand up straight, put your shoulders up, right? There's a study that shows the Superman pose. It improves your confidence by a substantial percentage, and that's just by how you carry yourself. All those things matter. So when you really take perspective of how short life is, I don't ever want to be a disappointment to who I could truly become. And I think that drives me more than anything, is that when I think about when I'm 70 or 80 years old and who I became and the people that I impacted and the legacy that I leave behind, I don't ever want to look back on my life and be like, man, I was just taking it easy for 5 or 10 years. So it's a higher level calling that really drives me in both business and the military, as a leader of my family. That really drives me in everything.